This is what the orchard looked like when I bought the property, and this is what it looks like now, all thanks to the goats. Slightly hard to pick it out amongst all the other overgrown trees. But I'm going to start with this one, just as somewhere to start. It's just a blackthorn. I think they're all blackthorn actually up here. I'll keep a few maybe and try and remove others to give me a bit more space. Obviously everything's subsumed in tons of brambles still, but the goats have done a great job of eating the fresher growth, so it's just the dried stuff that's left. And that's what I'll try and get done. It's only a couple of square meters, but it's a start. It was nice to find the ground under the brambles. Although there's lots of dead growth, they're just these individual places where they're still growing, and I've grubbed some of those out. The tree has a little bit more space to breathe. Now just the rest of it to do. I have some uninvited guests today joining me up at the orchard. For now, they're fine. I need to keep an eye on that for the future. Hi sheep. I'm back in the orchard this morning, and I thought I should grab a bit of video before I get much further, so it's a bit more obvious what I end up doing today. Otherwise it all looks the same. So I'd started to clear this very top corner by the fence, just basically grubbing up what's there to give you an idea of what I've got to work with. It's mainly brambles, of course, but up around the edges there's lots of other things, and ivy roots are the my particular favourite this morning. But anyway, here's a little pathway that goes through out to the main field, and I have a plan in the future that I'll put something permanent, or at least semi-permanent, to be able to allow access from the field into the orchard here. Otherwise you have to go all the way down to the bottom of the field to get in by the cottage, but to get across here would be quite nice, some kind of bridge, because there's a ditch that runs down along here all the way down the side and leads out to the bottom of the field. So obviously it's a bit muddy and grim at the moment. You can cross it at your peril. I know the goats do every now and then, but I know they don't like jumping in the mud. Neither do I. So that's the plan for the future anyway. Working on clearing as much of this as I can manage over the next few days. I'd like to get, I don't know, perhaps this corner, little top section done. That would be a good start and give me somewhere to think about actually putting some trees, shrubs, fruit bushes, kind of forest garden kind of idea, but still looking at the plans and thinking about it. So I'll be back when I've done a bit more. Other than the brambles, the main plants up here, it's actually blackthorn almost all the way around. I'll be removing a few of them, but they're all starting to grow the sloes already. There's some sloe gin for next year. And even if it doesn't look much, just to prove I have done something, there's the pile of this morning's cuttings. Plenty more to go. It's prickly work for sure, but it's quite nice. I'm covering all these little areas that haven't seen the light of day for decades probably. It's a bit like an ancient woodland down there. I don't think it's quite that ancient, but it's green and definitely untouched I like these little bits. They may not look like a great deal, but that's not too bad for the first afternoon. Clearing this top corner certainly makes it easier to see kind of what the space is like, and there's slightly fewer brambles and overgrown bits. So this afternoon's job has been to carry on clearing and actually start to dig up the bramble roots. So that's what I've managed to do in this patch. It's only a few square meters, just the rest of the acre to go, but it's nice to be able to kind of clear it out and get it to a state where I can start to think about using it. And I'm not pretending that every single bramble root has disappeared and I'll never see them again, but I've been able to dig out the main root balls and the main roots and clear them from the surface, at least to give me a chance to be able to see what's going on. So that's where we've got to so far. Onwards and upwards. Apart from the brambles, the ground is in pretty good condition actually. It's not been compacted at all because it's not been used or walked on for a long time. So it's nice, kind of friable on the top and moves quite easily when you put a fork in as well. So hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. Definitely for planting trees and for the shrubs and fruit bushes that I'm planning up here. You'll see I've covered up a bit, not because it's cold, but the midges are out in force tonight. It's getting eaten alive, so I need to stop them in their tracks. So, as well as the goats helping by chomping down the brambles, which made a huge difference to the orchard area, they've also produced a huge amount of bedding that's now used and is currently piled up, composting happily. But I decided to use a little bit up here to cover the ground that I've cleared, just as a kind of mulch for the time being, because it may be some time until I'm ready to plant it up with shrubs and trees. So this will give it a bit of a covering.